And that John Kerry, I have a quote here from 3 years ago saying Russia has been constructive in helping to remove 100% of the chemical weapons from Syria. The agreement we made was a good agreement. And Obama pipes in and says, you know, it was very important for us to work with Russia. I guess it didn't work out so well, did it, Chris?
I guess not. I guess now they see they've got a partner, President Trump, so they kind of let a little slack go. But I will say this, Judge, I do approve of this strike. I think you got to send a message when somebody uses chemical weapons. I think the problem I have is that many Americans are concerned about what the motivation for this is. I am not concerned, but I think that the president needs to get that concern under control. It's something that he has to do by stop tweeting about things that are not him being president. Just worry about his job right now, and everything else will work itself out if he's innocent like he says he is.
Well, go ahead, Dan.
Chris, listen, you know I look forward to these debate sessions, but please tell me, please.
I do too.
Tell me you are not insinuating remotely that President Trump dropped a series of deadly bombs on a Russian client state to distract from. I hope you weren't suggesting
but
that,
along
right?
with the UK and France.
Hold on a minute. I did not say that. I said I am not concerned about that. But I do think.
No, you said that you're suspicious about the timing.
No. I think that there are many Americans who might be suspicious, and the president owes it to this country to make sure that they are not. And it is his own behavior that has made people suspicious. I am not suspicious. I approve of these strikes. I think when people use chemical weapons, when Assad uses chemical weapons, we need to beat him down for it. And I approve of what the president did, and I approve what our allies did. But there are significant Americans who are concerned about the motivation, and that's on the president and his staff to control.
Dan?
Well, you should seek professional help if you actually believe that because you've got the timeline one all wrong, okay? The president's tweets, the gas attack, and then the information that broke about Cohen. You've got the timeline completely backwards in an effort to invent a wag the dog conspiracy. Chris, seriously. I love you, buddy, but there's got to be some mental health professional close to you that can treat you for this Trump derangement syndrome. I can't believe you're suggesting this.
Danny boy.
I have to, you know what, guys, I have to add something.
IFP.
Yeah, Chris, how could you say,
broke, Dan?
Chris, how can you possibly say that some Americans are worried about the motivation? The guy's gassing kids, his own people. What else do you need? You got Obama who made believe he was going to draw a line in the sand. Are people believing or proud of what he didn't do?
Judge, I am not saying that I believe that. I am not saying that I believe that, but I am saying it is reasonable. It is reasonable to expect that there is a significant percentage of the population that questions his motivation here. And that is because of the way the president has acted all week.
Time out. Judge, this is the same percentage of the population that believes in Russian collusion despite no evidence whatsoever. Okay? So when Chris quotes a significant percentage of the population, he's talking about his coastal liberal elite friends who eat foie gras for lunch and dine in bow ties all day.
Yes.
He's not talking about anyone else in real America.
Hold on, Dan. I have seen your recipes. You've got some foie gras on your website now, in your coastal home in Florida. Please.
All right, guys. Let's talk about Comey's book. Now, there are no reveals in the book, Chris. I mean, it sounds like a petty little, a couple of little girls. So he did this and he did that and he said there's nothing in there other than Jim Comey trying to make himself the moral compass of America. Are you going to buy the book?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to buy the book because I'm not a fan of Jim Comey's, as you might imagine. I think Jim Comey's done a lot of damage the last year and 2 years of his career. And look, while I don't agree that the way the president fired him, I think that Jim Comey had a lot of hubris both during the 2016 election and then thereafter. And I think this book, he does get a little petty. I don't think we need a book where he's calling out the president for his height and the size of his hands. I think if he wanted to be taken seriously, he should have written a serious book about his career. And he probably should have waited at least another year or two until the special counsel wrapped up his investigation.
Dan?
Because I don't think we need to be having this conversation
Last
right
word
now.
on Jim Comey.
Well, Judge, hell is freezing over because I agree with Chris on this one. Jim Comey has been a disaster. Jim Comey is on the record telling Congress that he hid the most important counterintelligence investigation in U.S. history from them for 8 months, and he had no good reason why other than it was sensitive. That's the whole purpose of telling Congress about it. Jim Comey's lost all credibility.
I agree. You got to have congressional oversight. And again, even with Syria, I think if we keep going there, the president should go to Congress, and he should make them a partner in this, whatever happens.
Dan Bongino, Chris Hahn, thanks for being on, both of you. And what is going on in the FBI? We'll talk about all of it with former DOJ lawyer J. Christian Adams. Don't go away. We'll talk about McCabe, too.
Introducing the most advanced Infiniti ever made. The all-new 2019 Infiniti QX50. Infiniti. Empower the drive.
You wouldn't accept an elite job from anyone else. So why accept it from your allergy pills? Most pills don't finish the job because they don't relieve nasal congestion. Flonase allergy relief is different. Flonase relieves sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, and a runny nose, plus nasal congestion, which pills don't. Flonase helps block 6 key inflammatory substances. Most pills only block 1, and 6 is greater than 1. Start your day with Flonase for more complete allergy relief. Flonase, this changes everything.
The ADT yard sign stands watch over your home and family with 140 years of tested, trusted 24/7 protection. Now get our lowest rate for fast response monitoring at just $28.99 a month. About $1 a day. Call today.
Time to bask in low prices. TripAdvisor compares prices from over 200 booking sites to find the right hotel for you at the lowest price. Refreshing, isn't it? TripAdvisor.
Looks like you're not sleeping well.
How did you know? And Megan! Hey! You're that guy! The My Pillow guy!
That's right, and I'm here to help you get the best sleep of your lives. Just like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. I tried every pillow out there and none of them worked. That's why I invented My Pillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs and helps keep your neck aligned. My Pillow will hold its shape all night long regardless of your sleep position for the best sleep of your life.
Call or go to MyPillow.com. Use the promo code and save over 50% with Mike's 4-pack. You'll get 2 MyPillow premiums and 2 Go Anywhere pillows. It's one of his best offers ever.
You're sleeping better.
Much better.
And you're looking good.
Feeling good.
I knew you would.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit MyPillow.com.
With CarGurus, you don't have to know much about cars to know everything about a car.
New wheels, huh? What year?
2016.
What you got under the hood?
Honestly, I don't know what I'm looking at. But I used CarGurus, so I know I got a great deal. CarGurus has more listings than any other major site, gives each car a deal rating, and sorts the best deals first.
Turbo or supercharged?
Both.
Go to CarGurus today to find great deals from top-rated dealers near you.
There's so much clutter in your place, you wish you could erase. And the bathroom near the foyer is a mood destroyer. It's all ugly and outdated. It's time you just upgraded. Now the Bagster bag is here, and this mess will disappear. So you schedule a pickup, it goes off without a hiccup. You're smiling and moving on, and that's the joy of gone. Get the Bagster bag for your next project.
How would you describe the perfect dinner? It's perfectly fresh, perfectly measured, perfectly seasoned. That's why Plated is perfect for you. Unforgettable dinners you can cook at home week after week. Go to plated.com/order and get 25% off your first 4 weeks. See how easy and fun it is to make a dinner that's beautifully cooked, shared, and enjoyed. Go to plated.com/order and get 25% off your first 4 weeks.
Fox News Channel on Sirius XM. Your favorite shows on Channel 114. Plus, every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7. Channel 115.
I've seen it all. I've seen politics and government from the inside, and I can see what's wrong with it and what's broken and what needs to be changed.
Wherever I smell hypocrisy, liberals, conservatives, Republicans, Democrats, I will go after them.
We don't have time to dance around the issue. I like to get right to the point. I just come at the news with a different viewpoint.
My job is getting to the bottom line of what is the American people's truth. The DOJ Inspector General released an explosive report regarding the firing of ex-FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe. All while the Mueller probe continues on. Here to weigh in is former DOJ official J. Christian Adams. All right, good evening, Christian. You know, I have to tell you, when I saw that IG report, and there was a lot of talk about it before it actually came out, it was even more outrageous than I thought it would be. What was your take?
Well, it showed that you had the number 2 man at the FBI repeatedly lying under oath, and we will see whether justice is blind, Judge, because there's people like Scooter Libby and General Mike Flynn who got in trouble for far less. The number 2 man at the FBI repeatedly lying under oath to FBI agents, to the Inspector General, leaking information, coordinating a political hit job with his friend. On texts we know about. I mean, it really opens up your eyes to how politicized things became under Eric Holder, Loretta Lynch, and Barack Obama.
You know, Christian, we know from the texts that we've seen, you know, the drip, drip, drip of the Andrew McCabe and his subordinate Strzok and then Lisa Page. And it is absolutely stunning. I mean, should we believe that the FBI is a political operation?
Well, we know now that it was, at least in during the presidential election. What's really interesting in the IG report, Judge, is one thing that hasn't been reported is it says in there that the principal deputy associate attorney general, who's a very high-ranking person at the Obama Justice Department, made a phone call just a few weeks before the election to McCabe, telling him to shut down the Hillary Clinton Foundation criminal investigation. That was the most staggering thing in the report to me.
Christian, I'm going to interrupt you. The principal deputy, who is this?
Well, he's not named in the IG report. That's part of the mystery. I suspect somebody will figure out who it was. Bill Baer was a principal deputy AG around that time. Maybe it was him, maybe it wasn't. But the point is, this is a top-level DOJ official called the FBI and said, shut down the Hillary Foundation investigation.
And this is in the IG's report. This hasn't gotten any attention. I haven't heard about this.
Well, it's in there. That's the thing that shocked me the most, because what sort of Justice Department do we have a couple weeks before the election that political appointees are calling the number 2 guy at the FBI, essentially saying, give Hillary a pass? That's in the IG report. That's the real bombshell. And then you have McCabe, and that was the reason that McCabe started leaking through his friend, Lisa Page, to the Wall Street Journal, because they wanted to throw the principal deputy associate under the bus. That's the terminology that Page used.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that the Inspector General said that he was leaking not in the public interest, which is allowed in some cases, but rather for his own self-interest.
Right, and
go ahead.
Well, that's also part of the story here. As you now know, we have James Comey, the number 1 guy at the FBI. You have Andrew McCabe, the number 2 guy at the FBI, who are busy leaking stuff to either make them look good, make Hillary look better, or in some cases make Trump look crazy. And that's what we had when we had a political FBI who injected themselves into that presidential election.
You know, what we know, Christian, so far is that James Comey lied to Congress under oath. We know that McCabe did as well. Under this Justice Department, what we know for sure is nothing is going to happen to them. And we know that there were all kinds of efforts to stop, as you just said, from the Inspector General, the objective Inspector General, the investigation of the foundation. Now, right now, what we've got to try to figure out is whether the American people can ever have faith in the FBI again, and whether anyone will ever be accountable again.
Judge, that is the most sad part of this entire story, is it tears at the fabric of equality before law. When Scooter Libby and General Flynn are prosecuted, when the left wages lawfare, this is what they do. They use the courts, they use the legal system to attack their enemies, to wreck their lives, like they did General Flynn and Scooter Libby, which, by the way, the president's pardon was spot on because the witnesses were misled.
Okay. All right, Christian Adams, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks, Judge.
All right. And they're the most outrageous things I heard this week, and they're coming up next.
I never dreamed that I'd meet somebody like you. No.
In the modern world, it pays to switch things up. You can switch and save time. You can switch and save worry. You can switch and save hassle. And when you switch to Esurance, you can save time, worry, hassle, and, yep, money. In fact, drivers who switched from Geico to Esurance saved hundreds. So you might want to think about pulling the old switcheroo. That's auto and home insurance for the modern world. Esurance, an Allstate company. Click or call.
There are plenty of good booking sites, but your ideal hotel may only be listed on one, or several, but for very different prices. You really want to check them all? Instead, use Trivago to compare these offers and find your ideal hotel for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
At just $24.99, Ruby Tuesday's new dinner for two is bringing everyone together. Endless trips to the Garden Bar.
Wicked Garden Bar.
Choose 2 of 7 entrees.
I say Ruby, you say?
Can I just eat? And a dessert to share.
Halo!
Dinner for 2 at Ruby Tuesday.
I can't believe this came off my floors. Gross.
My tile was still this dirty even after I mopped my floors.
Are you ready to see what you're missing every time you clean your floors? Introducing FlexClean by Rug Doctor. It's our first ever true all-in-one floor cleaner. Deep clean every floor in your home with one amazing machine that leaves no doubt. You can see the dirt coming out. All floors, no exceptions. FlexClean tackles carpets and rugs, wood and laminate floors, stone and tile. Only FlexClean lets you change surfaces seamlessly.
From carpet to hardwood to tile.
Accidents, stains, my everyday cleaning.
It gets every floor in my home totally clean.
We know you have to see it to believe it, so we put FlexClean to the test. Just watch how FlexClean's powerful suction cuts through dirt and grime. No more sloppy mops. FlexClean gets rid of sticky, gooey accidents and icky leaks with one clean sweep. Food and drinks on the carpet? No worries. FlexClean sucks up stains so you can relax and get back to entertaining. And Rug Doctor knows pets, so no matter how furry your family is, FlexClean is there to keep your floor cleaning routine fast and fresh. Here's how it works. The cleaning solution and rotating brushes dislodge dirt. Then powerful suction carries the dirty water into a separate tank, where it's safely contained until you dump it down the drain.
So disgusting, but really satisfying.
FlexClean pivots and handles like a vacuum, only it does so much more because it deep cleans every floor.
I love that I can go from my area rugs to my hardwood floors in just 2 easy steps. I just change the nozzle, turn the knob. It's that easy. I'm ready to clean.
Now you can have FlexClean delivered straight to your door. Call or go online to get yours. Order now and we'll include this exclusive upholstery tool that makes cleaning hard to reach places a snap. That's not all. We'll also include a trial size of our famous all-in-one cleaning solution. Don't miss out on this awesome FlexClean deal. Call or go to flexclean.com right now.
Jim Comey likens the president to a mob boss, and the Dems jump on the bandwagon.
I thought it was interesting that Director Comey is sort of analogizing the Trump team to like mob folks that he's prosecuted. When Comey talked about it as a little bit like a mob organization, that also has the ring of truth to it.
had the ring of truth. And that's just one of the most outrageous things I've heard this week. Here with more, media reporter for The Hill, Joe Concha, joins me now. All right, Joe, what's your take on Tim Kaine saying that it had the mob boss, the title had the ring of truth to it?
I think Tim Kaine, Judge, has only a short-term memory because I believe that he staunchly criticized Jim Comey right before the 2016 election when he reopened that campaign. And look, Comey's book, Judge, is being treated just like Michael Wolff's, where gossip was treated as gospel. And that's what Tim Kaine is engaging in here. And I agree with Chris Wallace, who was on this network yesterday, where he said, he doesn't use these kind of words very often. Yeah. He was surprised at how, quote, bitchy the book was. Yep. And he also said, one could argue, and I'm quoting him here, that by getting into the kind of political food fight that James Comey has done more damage to his own reputation than President Trump's. I think Wallace hit it on the head, and that's why he was actually trending on Twitter yesterday. Yeah, well, it's a kind of thing that for somehow it rings true, more true than the mob boss thing. But let's talk about something else. Now, we've got Lawrence O'Donnell, and I think we've got sound on what he said this week also. Take a listen.
Paul Ryan is not even close to being the worst person who has been Speaker of the House. Pedophile Dennis Hastert served 8 years as the Republican Speaker of the House, only to be revealed in his retirement to be a criminal. And before the Civil War, of course, we had slave-owning Speakers of the House. But they were all more effective in their job as Speaker than Paul Ryan.
Wow. We've got slave owners and pedophiles. In his effort, Lawrence O'Donnell, to trash Paul Ryan. Let's talk about that. Your take?
Oh, sure. Well, Lawrence O'Donnell will be the same person on his show on MSNBC who will say that the president is debasing the level of discourse within this country. And then he turns around and calls Paul Ryan, and you could agree or disagree with some of the decisions that Paul Ryan made. He always conducted himself with class, and compares him to a pedophile and a slave owner. Look, Lawrence O'Donnell, in these sort of situations, it's pre-planned, it's contrived, it's supposed to be shocking in order to get his name so-called in the paper, so people like us are now talking about it. And that's what cable news has become in some quarters, because all they want to do is draw attention to themselves by saying something so shocking that we have to talk about it, and therefore their bosses say, good job, Lawrence, you created a buzz.
But you know what, I don't...
everything, it's a whole bowl of wrong, Judge.
I don't get it, Joe. What's with the slave owner thing? Weren't the Democrats the slave owners?
I think a lot of, George Washington was. I don't know. I mean, it's a stupid analogy, and it shouldn't even remotely pertain to Paul Ryan or any modern politician.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even want to comment on it anymore.
All right. I can see that. All right. Let's talk about Hillary. Hillary Clinton back in the news, probably moaning for another reason as to why she didn't win for president. Let's take a listen.
After the devastating election of 2016, which, I'm still trying to figure out, to be honest with you. Maybe I don't need to say this because it's pretty obvious. We are living in challenging times. We're living through a war on truth, facts, and reason. Watching as racist and white supremacist views are lifted up in the media and in the White House.
Joe, 10 seconds. Hit it.
Oh, sure. We're watching a public therapy session in action. And all I know is this. Hillary Clinton was paid $25,000 to do a speech at Rutgers. That was $7,000 less than the Snooki of Jersey Shore and Smush Room fame. That's all I know. No one wants to hear what she has to say anymore.
All right. Joe Concha, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Stay classy.
We'll be right back.
Get your groove on with One A Day 50 Plus.
Get ready for the wildlife.
Complete multivitamins with key nutrients that address 6 concerns of aging, including heart health, supported by B vitamins. Your One A Day is showing.
We're finally back out in our yard,
but so are they.
Introducing Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action. It kills weeds, prevents crabgrass, and feeds so grass can thrive. Guaranteed.
Our backyard is back.
This is a Scott's yard.
Hello, give me an hour in tanning room 3. Cheers.
That's confident.
But it's not kayak confident. Kayak searches hundreds of travel sites to help me plan the best trip, so I'm more than confident.
Forgot me goggles.
Kayak. Search one and done.
Meet the all-new SimpliSafe home security system. Engineered with a single focus to protect. Built for the unexpected. Power outages, downed Wi-Fi, cut landlines, hammers, bats, and everything in between. Sensors so small they're practically invisible. Designed to disappear into your home and blanket it with protection. So precise they can tell the difference between the family pet and an intruder. More than easy to use, downright delightful. With gentle reminders when a window is left open, and urgency in moments of crisis. All at prices that are fair and honest. We're 10 years in, protecting over 2 million Americans. This is SimpliSafe. Home security done right.
Let's begin. Yes or no? Do you want the same tools and seamless experience across web and tablet? Do you want $4.95 commissions for stocks, 50-cent options contracts, $1.50 futures contracts? What about a dedicated service team of trading specialists? Did you say yes? Good. Then it's time for Power E-Trade, the platform, price, and service that gives you the edge you need. Looks like we have a couple of seconds left. Let's do some card twirling. Twirling cards. E-Trade, the original place to invest online.
So I think I got to get my roof repaired. You know anybody?
Yeah, actually I might.
Yeah, great. Can you do a free background check on them, get me some additional quotes, and book it for 2 weeks from now?
You can't expect your neighbors to do everything Home Advisor can. So to find and book a top-rated home pro for free, just ask Home Advisor.
Wayfair, you got just what I need. It's the feeling of done and done. It's so much fun. Easy as a click, and done comes quick. It can even look crazy. That's fun and done, baby. Get a deal done, or fancy looks fun. Just kick back, relax, with Wayfair, you're done. You know the feeling, yeah, that's the one. It's the feeling of done and done. It's so much.
Bring home the feeling at Wayfair.com.
Termites. Feasting on homes 24/7. We're on the move. Roger.
Hey, Rick, all good?
Oh, yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Termites never stop trying to get in. We never stop working to keep them out. Terminix, defenders of home.
Finally tonight, friend me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and on Instagram at Judge_Janine. You never have to miss justice. If you can't watch, just set your DVR. Plus, get ready. My new book, Liars, Leakers, and Liberals, The Case Against the Anti-Trump Conspiracy, comes out in June. But you can pre-order it now on Amazon and on Barnes & Noble. Thanks for watching. I'm Jeanine Pirro, advocating for truth, justice, and the American way. Greg Gutfeld is next.
I did have a whole different show planned for tonight. We'll do it tomorrow. Things happen, you know, beat up, roll off. I'm trying to be a duck about this. I'm trying to be a Zen duck. Beat up, roll off. Just let it go.
I don't know what that means. Let's move on.
Thank you, America. So, like a 6-pound frozen block of in-flight bathroom waste, James Comey's book dropped from the sky. And when it did, the media couldn't contain their excitement.
The James Comey book accidentally came out early. Oops. Well, good evening, Lawrence.
Oh, good evening, Rachel. I'm just reading the end because I want to see how the investigation turns out. So I'm just gonna.
Breaking news, they can read. I kid. Now, no one sent me a book. Everyone else got one, and it made them feel so funny inside.
Comey went further than you were even expecting, even more so than what he talked about in the book.
He is just not holding back on President Trump in any way, shape, or form.
And he talks about how the out-of-body experience for him to sit with the president, it must have been an out-of-body experience for you to sit with him.
I tell you, thank you for saying that.
Kids, this ain't the Bible. It's a freaking book of gossip by a bitter ex. Here's one revelation, though. Comey says Trump reminds him of something.
Him. I thought of New York mafia social clubs. The Italian mafia called itself La Cosa Nostra, this thing of ours, and always drew a line between someone who was a friend of yours, meaning someone outside the family, and someone who was a friend of ours, meaning an official member of the family. The president-elect was trying to make us all part of the same family, and that Team Trump had made it a thing of ours.
So I'm pretty sure that Thursday night, Rachel read the entire book to her audience. It was like a bedtime story for Communist Party cat ladies. But Trump's like a mafia boss? File that under duh. Anyone who saw the debates knows that. Every day he put out a hit on a rival. The fact is, he's a billionaire real estate developer in New York City. You think he never had to deal with actual mafia bosses? Why do you think he's the way he is now? Sorry, when America hears Comey whine that Trump is like a mafia boss, they go, no Sherlock. That's why we like him. Think about it. Who would you rather have dealing with the likes of North Korea or Putin? A guy who reminds you of this, or someone who reminds you of a grad school TA who reads poetry to his cat? Now, if I don't know that he does that. Okay. If I were Trump, when asked about being called a mob boss, I'd say I'm deeply flattered. Then I would hand out red hats that say Mafia instead of MAGA. We had that made, by the way, $25 if you want it. Bottom line, this all comes down to one fact. There's a certain kind of person designed to be president from the get-go. They look like this, or this, or this. Trump's not them. He's Trump. Someone unaccustomed to the purity test all politicians can fake, which is why the public doesn't care. They know what he is. He may be a mafia boss, but he's our mafia boss. So they're applauding for the mafia. They are applauding for the mafia. So while the media spews crap, how does America feel about it? All of this is about behavior prior to an election designed to unseat a president based on a vast emotional injury that occurred on November 8th, 2016. What unites anti-Trumpers is PTSD, President Trump stress disorder. The media says Trump is using foreign policy to distract from scandal, but it's actually the opposite. These scandals are designed to keep him from doing his job. That's how America sees it. That's how I see it. And I am America. Yes, I am. I'm kind of shaped like America. And America just wants him to keep doing his job because so far it ain't bad. ISIS, North Korea, China, taxes. Stop him now. What a story that would be. First, an outsider is elected to disrupt the system. Second, he actually disrupts the system. Third, the media and their Democratic enablers flip out. Four, they use everything in their power to remove him. Now, if they succeed, they will have removed one of the most radical political figures in recent memory using behavior that occurred prior to the election. Anti-Trumpers, have you thought this through? If you're not careful, you're going to turn Trump into a massive folk hero, and 70 million people will be at your doorstep, and it won't be to sing "You've Got a Friend." Let's welcome tonight's guests. Like my favorite butcher, Steve, she cuts through the bologna. I almost said something else. Author and TV host Jedediah Bila. Like a well-oiled shopping cart, he'll have you rolling in the aisles. Actor, writer, comedian Jamie Lissow. Yes, she's got more baggage than a Samsonite salesman. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. And he hates ceiling fans.
That's true.
Impact wrestler, my massive sidekick, Tyrus. Jedediah, a lot happened this week. Comey. What do you make of this?
I mean, the book sounds terrible. I didn't get a copy either. I can't imagine why. But every excerpt I read made him less and less likable as a person. And this guy, I mean, he stoops to the lowest levels. He's like talking about Trump's tie.
Yeah.
He's talking about Trump's under eye circles. Like, is he in a tanning bed? Is he not? And it's just like any shred of credibility that this guy had, which I don't know how he could have any after not indicting Hillary Clinton, frankly. But any shred that remains has been lost just from the excerpts that I've read. And it's just, you know, I think there are some people in this world that just want to be in front and center in front of the camera all the time. And we work in the television business. We're trained to spot them. This guy is one of them. Any opportunity, like someone hand him a show just because he's begging for it, because that's what he wants. That would be, wow.
What, Tyrus?
You better not.
What?
You better not. I warned you about the Hillary on Sunday. If Comey gets one, I'm done.
Okay, here's my Sunday lineup. My Sunday lineup, you got Hillary at 8 o'clock, because that provides fodder for Fox and Friends the next day, followed by Comey, and it's like Comey, it's called the Comey Confessional. And he just tells you what he thinks. Sorry, Tyrus. All right, Jamie.
Greg, instead of the Comey Confessional, what about the Fredo files?
Oh!
Thank you, because of the thing before.
Yes, a Godfather allusion, I believe it was. What do you make of Trump's response to Comey?
I honestly thought maybe he even overreacted. Like, why even respond to so much?
Thank you.
Thank you. It is. You're welcome. It is a tell-all book. Rarely do people release a tell-some book. It's all of it. And I thought the whole thing about, I thought Trump should have almost just let it roll off his shoulders, especially the thing about, you know, the story that was in there about the Russia and the prostitutes and the peeing. I thought Trump should have at least made an excuse and just said, it's not what everyone thinks. It's just, I just don't speak fluent Russian. They completely misunderstand me. You know, I walked in, I was like, what are you guys doing? I said, there's a leak in the sink.
That would have worked.
Right? I said to get 3 hot plumbers, not 3 hot prostitutes. It's one idea.
That is very good. Kat, what do you make of the Comey book?
There is nothing wrong with reading poetry to your cat, Greg. First of all.
That's what you got from this?
That's what I just got from your monologue. You seems like you're insulting one of my favorite pastimes.
That was actually put in there, directed to insult you.
I thought so.
Yes.
But no, I agree with Jedediah. He made comments about the tiny hands.
Yes.
Are we done with the tiny hands yet? That's like the biggest hack joke in the world.
Yes.
I'm surprised like the next sentence wasn't, why didn't the chicken cross the road? That's how hack that it was. It's like, you're not Regina George. You are a former FBI director. You can act like a grown-up.
Yes.
And
he wants to be Regina George.
He wants to be Regina George.
Who's
he wants
Regina
to be
George?
Mean Girls.
Well, I did not know that.
I'm so glad you asked, Greg. I was nodding, just pretending I knew who it was.
I thought it was like,
because I was afraid the camera was on me too.
I thought it was a historical political figure.
It is.
Yes, it is. It is. I'm so embarrassed. Tyrus, what do you make of the whole thing? What's wrong with having a mafia boss as a president?
Well, as long as your name isn't Fredo, not too bad. The whole thing, here's the thing. Obviously, from the day they met, Trump and Comey did not like each other.
Yeah.
It was not a match made in heaven, and he felt he was fired by someone who was inferior to him, so that's where the anger comes from. But I'm willing to suggest, if we actually got our hands on the book that wasn't cut and pasted by the liberal media, that it might be a better read. I think they're doing a disservice. I haven't seen the book, but they're taking pieces out and forming it for their own thing. I think they're making him. They're doing a horrible disservice to Comey.
Yeah.
Because you haven't read the book. I haven't read. I'm not saying he's obviously bitter. Listen, if I got fired by, say, a guy smaller than me that I could beat up or whatever, I might, when my book comes out, say some terrible things about like his animal choices that aren't real, or his, that he footstools around the office that I trip over all the time. I might have some issues with some things, which I get. I understand that. We've all been fired, and no, I've never said when after I got fired, well, that was a really wonderful place, and I was really glad to be there.
Yeah.
Sorry they fired me. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this is more the media, like, ooh, let's take this one thing and let's say this and let's say this. Yes. I'll wait till I'll actually read the book, and
I would totally buy that, except that when you watch him in the interviews, he's insufferable.
Yes, he is.
It's like a pity party for Comey every time.
Everything is like confliction. It's, oh my God, I didn't know what to do when he started talking about his wife. It's like, shut up, you're an adult.
No, he obviously hates Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And that's That's the question that Papadopoulos should have asked him. Do you hate Donald Trump?
Yeah.
Tell the truth. He got under your skin, and you couldn't believe that what he thought, being an elitist, this guy could fire me. And that's really what it's all
I don't
about.
hate anyone. You know, some sort of self.
Which means I just want to be a good person.
I just want to do the right thing.
We got to move on because we have so much good stuff in this show. It'll make your head explode. Not that I want to see that, because that would be gory and disgusting. All right, what did we learn from Mark Zuckerberg's appearance at a Senate hearing? For starters, how to ask really stupid questions.
Reintroducing Arby's Greek beef and turkey gyro Mediterranean tacos, 2 for $6. Arby's, we have the meats.
At Joseph A. Bank, save up to 60% off almost everything. All dress shirts, including best-selling Traveler, 2 for $89. All Traveler suits, $279. Plus, take an extra 40% off all clearance and find exactly what you're looking for. The up to 60% off sale, only at Joseph A. Bank.
Nick was born to move. 3 toddlers won't stop him, and neither will lower back pain. Because at a Dr. Scholl's kiosk, he got a recommendation for our custom-fit orthotic to relieve his foot, knee, or lower back pain from being on his feet. Dr. Scholl's, born to move.
Not having a good breakfast can make you feel like your day never started. Get going with Carnation Breakfast Essentials. It has protein plus 21 vitamins and minerals, including calcium and vitamin D, to help your family be their best. Carnation Breakfast Essentials.
What's this dealer preparation fee?
This just is not
what we talked about.
Get the car without the car salesman. Carvana, the new way to buy a car.
Looking for a hotel that fits your budget? TripAdvisor now searches over 200 sites to find you the hotel you want at the lowest price. Grazie, Gino. Find a price that fits. TripAdvisor.
Your workspace matters. When it's active, it changes everything. And our new Veridesk ProDesk 60 electric standing desk makes it easy to turn any office into an active workspace.
The challenge was to create the most stable electric standing desk for hundreds less than the competition. We started with a heavy-duty frame, and we designed it to assemble in less than 5 minutes.
Because of Veridesk, we definitely have more energy in our office. I would never go back to a regular sitting desk.
To learn more about how Veridesk can change the way you work, go to Veridesk.com.
What is he like, this Picasso?
He's imaginative, deranged, a true revolutionary.
Passionate.
He's a complete degenerate.
He'll spit in the face of authority.
He has set the art world on fire. Art has been my weapon, but I have to fight for my whole being.
New season, new genius, Picasso premieres Tuesday, April 24th at 9 on National Geographic.
Innovation is an ever-evolving journey. It stretches our creative vision, pushes us beyond the ordinary, makes the impossible possible. Along the way, we invent the means to make our lives brighter, safer, cleaner. Put the gas-like power of Greenworks tools in your hands and lead the charge.
It's the year's most acclaimed drama, one of this decade's best. The final season of The Americans is here. A thrilling 5-star event. Brilliant and shockingly original. Deliciously suspenseful with 2 of TV's finest performers. Don't miss one of the greatest drama series in television history. The Americans, the final season. Wednesdays at 10, only on FX.
Doogie Howser went to D.C. It's true. Mark Zuckerberg went to the Capitol, where he met creatures old enough to ride woolly mammoths on the frozen tundra of Siberia. This wasn't a hearing, it was a hard of hearing. It was tough watching Zuck explain how the internet works to people who mistake iPads for cutting boards. But how they pronounce chocolate.
I love a certain kind of chocolate. Chocolate. I like chocolate.
He does! I'm scared of him. This strange meeting between two different worlds kind of reminds me of a movie.
He came from somewhere far away. Our planet had never seen anything like him. Seeking friendship, he spoke a language that befuddled our greatest leaders.
I would differentiate between ISPs, so there might be areas where there needs to be more regulation in one and less in the other.
And it confused them, forcing them to ask ridiculous questions.
Who's going to protect us from Facebook?
Is Twitter the same as what you did?
Can you define hate speech? Is Facebook a financial institution?
What was Face Mash, and is it still up and running?
He answered them in a language only he and his fellow aliens understood.
I will have my team follow up with you, have my team follow up, my team.
This spring, witness the incredible story of a being from another galaxy, being probed and tortured by human stupidity. Nude man on a unicorn juggling flamethrowers while filing his taxes presents Mark Zuckerberg, Lindsey Graham, and Carl Weathers as Dylan.
Dylan, son of a bitch.
MZ, the Mark Zuckerberg.
I felt bad for the guy because no one got him. But it's not really about age. It's about knowledge, which this crowd lacked. If that hearing was not an argument against regulation and for term limits in small government, I don't know what is. And if Zuckerberg is 10% the genius that we think he is, he better have left that meeting a full-on libertarian.
Yeah.
Anyway, Zuck did okay. He wore a suit, finally. I'm so proud of him. And I think it's his first.
Is your nephew graduating from high school? Younger sister having her first communion? Or maybe you're going to Nana's funeral? Then you need the Zuck. The Zuck. It's the first suit for guys who've never worn a suit before. Designed specifically to make you look like a big boy on your big day. Like that first day at work.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, nice suit. Oh, thanks. It's the Zuck.
The Zuck! Or that all-important first fancy date.
It's a chilly night out. You want my jacket?
Nah, I'm good.
But it's the Zuck.
The Zuck! Or even your first court appearance.
I think you need to plead guilty.
But it wasn't even my weed.
Guys wearing that go to jail.
Even in the Zuck?
The Zuck! And the Zuck looks great at widely covered congressional testimonies. Order now and we'll throw in a free booster seat. The Zuck. Your mom will hate the way you look. We guarantee it. The Zuck!
Jamie, were you like me? Did you feel bad for Zuckerberg being questioned for 10 hours?
I loved every minute of this.
Yes.
So he spent 10 hours listening to opinions he didn't want to hear, being asked questions he didn't want to hear posed. Hey, that's what it's like to go on Facebook.
Yes.
That is what happens every time I go on. So I'm glad he got to experience it.
Should there be any content regulations?
I think there should be, at some point, they'll have to do that. If I could pick one, I would like there to be, every time I go on Facebook, afterwards, I feel bad about myself. For some reason, I read like everyone's doing all these things. I think you should have to put some negative things on Facebook. Whenever people post like, oh, I did this, you never see someone post something like, I just gained 20 pounds.
Yes.
I ate a pie every day for the last 30 days. I'm depressed. And then it's a picture of them holding up a small pair of pants they used to fit into.
I will say, though, Kat, you do that. You go on social networks, and you're not always happy.
I like to keep it honest.
You do. You do. How fast did that suit that he wore end up in a pile in a laundry basket, never to be touched again?
Immediately.
Yes.
He did not do very well. I've seen pieces of toast with more charisma, and they didn't even have butter on them. I got the vibe like he seemed like he was a teenager being forced to volunteer in a nursing home. That was kind of the vibe.
That is true.
That's really what I thought. But I just love how they have such a little idea of what Facebook really is, but they do know that they want to regulate it.
Exactly.
If that isn't the government in a nutshell, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, we can't explain it. Though I can order chocolate. I can order chocolate, and then there's an ad for the chocolate. So how does this machine know that I like the chocolate? The chocolate. Yes, thank you. Iris, What do you make of it?
I have a question for you, Greg.
Yes, yes.
I couldn't help but notice your little commercial there. Where'd you guys get those suits? Because those look a lot like my jacket.
I didn't steal them from Brian Kilmeade.
No. So I got a Facebook post for the guy who was wearing my suits.
Yeah.
Got ass kicked today for wearing big suit. You know, the whole thing, Cruz was my favorite part.
Yes.
Because he wanted to ask a question, and he kept trying to go. All he wanted to know is if any of his photos were out there. He wanted to know. He wanted to know if he had seen any of his stuff. He's like, so. Is there stuff about Republicans out there? Is there any photos of guys from Texas who might be a Republican who ran for president and lost miserably? No, nothing. Like, he literally was just, all he wanted to make sure is none of his stuff was out there. That's it. So you know everyone's data that's out there.
Really? Well, you know, at a certain point, everybody's stuff is going to be out there. We have to assume privacy. I believe Jedediah is dead.
Yeah, along with chivalry. And
everything is dead.
Civility and all the other good stuff.
Yeah, the only things that are alive are really scary. Do you think that social media training should be like given to everybody in the Senate and Congress?
Well, I watched this and I can't believe we elected these guys.
Yeah.
I mean, when you, like, we're doing a basic television show now. If I got a list of topics and I looked at one of them and I had no idea, I would read the link. They're not embarrassed at all to go sit there. I mean, we elect them. This is their job.
Yes.
They're supposed to do the research. They're supposed to ask, insightful questions. They have no shame. It's unbelievable.
I will say this. Orrin Hatch was the only person who knew what was going on when he asked, like, he basically said, okay, so it's free, how do they make money? And then Zuckerberg goes advertising, and he was basically saying to the people there, you're a bunch of idiots.
Which they didn't get.
They didn't get it. They thought he was being stupid, but then he said, like, that's how they make money, advertising. And then you have Charles Grassley, who's like reading word for word something like an assistant gave him from Wikipedia. So you're telling me Facebook isn't actually a book of human faces? Speaking of a book of human faces.
Oh, nice.
That's what you call a natural segue. This book is coming out soon. You can order it at Amazon. It's all of my monologues from the 5. Not all of them, because the book would be really big. The best. This is like 250 monologues, and I add new stuff in it. I write about like stuff I got wrong, which is rare, and add to the stuff that I got right, which is great. It's been endorsed by this little guy.
Hey, Greg. Hey, Greg. Great job, Greg.
All right. Got the monologue. He thinks dope is dope. So why John Boehner pro-pot after being against it for decades? We report. You get the munchies.
This is a story about mail and packages. And it's also a story about people. People who rely on us every day to deliver their dreams. They're handing us more than mail. They're handing us their business. And while we make more e-commerce deliveries to homes than anyone else in the country, we never forget that your business is our business. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
I just need some rest. I'm just worried about the house and taking care of the boys.
He's still asleep.
Zach? Zach! Zach!
Talk to me.
It's for the house. I got a job.
It's okay. Dad took care of us.
Principal, we can help you plan for that.
People would stare. Psoriasis does that.
It was tough getting out there on stage.
I wanted to be clear. I wanted it to last.
So I kept on fighting.
I found something that worked and keeps on working.
Now, they see me.
See me.
See if Cosentyx could make a difference for you. Cosentyx is proven to help people with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis find clear skin that can last. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting Cosentyx, you should be checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, or if you've received a vaccine or plan to. If you have inflammatory bowel disease, tell your doctor if symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Never give up.
See me.
See me.
Clear skin can last.
Don't hold back. Ask your dermatologist if Cosentyx can help you find clear skin that lasts.
It's okay that everybody ignores me when I drive. It's fine, because I get a safe driving bonus check every 6 months I'm accident-free. And I don't share it with Mom, right, Mom? Right.
Safe driving bonus checks only from Allstate. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
When you have something you love, you want to protect it. At LegalZoom, our network of attorneys can help you every step of the way with an estate plan including wills or a living trust that grows along with you and your family. LegalZoom, where life meets legal.
Hello, give me an hour in tanning room 3. Cheers.
That's confident. But it's not Kayak confident. Kayak searches hundreds of travel sites to help me plan the best trip, so I'm more than confident.
Forgot me goggles.
Kayak, search one and done.
Hi, this is Jonathan.
I'm Karen. I'm Lisa.
Looking for a real relationship?
I'm looking for a woman who's trusting, funny, and kind.
I can't wait to meet somebody who loves dogs as much as I do.
Definitely would like to meet someone special.
Check out Match right now for free.
Live from America's news headquarters, I'm Rob Gray. Tonight, President Trump declaring mission accomplished in Syria. The Pentagon says that an American-led strike took out the heart of President Bashar Assad's chemical weapons program. 105 missiles were used in a pre-dawn strike targeting 3 facilities. The U.S., Britain, and France say the Syrian government used chlorine and possibly sarin nerve gas in an attack that killed dozens last week. But Syria and Russia dispute that, Russia even accusing Britain of staging a fake chemical attack. Meanwhile, the UN Security Council rejected a Russian resolution condemning the U.S. for escalating the Syrian conflict. Only 2 other countries, China and Bolivia, backed the proposal. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley had a message for Assad saying the U.S. was, quote, locked and loaded if chemical weapons are used again. Now back to the Greg Gutfeld.
Instead of going to seed, he embraced the weed. It's true. The former Speaker of the House, John Boehner, has joined the advisory board of Acreage Holdings, a pot firm that grows and sells legal weed in 11 states. It's a 180 for Boehner. 9 years ago, he said he was totally opposed to legalization. Now he says his attitude has evolved in recent years, and I'm sure it has nothing to do with him getting paid for it. He tweets, I'm convinced descheduling the drug is needed so we can do research, help our vets, and reverse the opioid epidemic ravaging our communities. Boehner released a statement along with fellow Republican Bill Weld, remember him, calling for a shift in federal marijuana policy, claiming that 94% of Americans currently favor some type of access. I believe we have tape of that announcement.
Hey, man. Am I driving okay? I think we're parked, man.
Back when that was funny. Still is, actually. Tyrus! So he was against it when he was in political power. Now he's out of politics and he's on a board. Isn't that what's kind of wrong with politics?
The fact that they only do things, politicians only do things that are good for them.
Yes.
Yeah. At least this time he's not in office, so he won't be making decisions based on what's being lined in his pocket in this situation. Because before he would have been doing when he was in office, he was against it because someone was probably paying him to be against it. And this is what the swamp is. This is exactly what it is. Whether it's Republican or Democrat, this is exactly what it is. And he's going to sit up there. He's going to sit up there with a straight face, and he'll cry about, remember, because he likes to cry. He's going to be like, I was so wrong about marijuana, and when it got to me, I have glaucoma, and he's going to do the whole thing. And as soon as that check bounces, He'll come out on the other side and be like, nope, the vapes alone made me upset. I can't do it. It's terrible. It's bad for you. He'll do literally whatever you pay him to do. Like we could. It's sad. It's sad. It's so transparent. It's disgusting.
What do you think, Jedediah?
I mean, there was a story I read that said that he had a friend who had this chronic back pain and was suffering, and that watching him go through that and taking the medical marijuana kind of changed his opinion.
That was Bill Clinton.
Don't know. It was what?
Bill Clinton.
Oh, Bill Clinton. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think, like, I agree with you, though, Tyrus. That's likely what happened. But I like to believe in a world where you can evolve, where you can have a stand on an issue and then experience something. That's true. But maybe, like, you know, I mean, I can think of things in my life that I had an opinion about, or I thought I had an opinion about, and then I lived a real life experience of that, or had someone I know touched by it. Yeah. And you can change. So if I were going to give him the benefit of the doubt, because he's a crier, and I like men who cry, and I just naturally gravitate that way, I'm going to go with good job on the evolution, John.
Oh, okay. I am actually happy he had a change of heart, even though it might be a little bit manufactured, but I think it's a good change of heart. Jamie, what do you make of this? Does this surprise you?
It does, but first of all, I think it's suspicious that his name is spelled B-O-E-H-N-E-R and it's pronounced Boehner.
Yes.
It's B-O. Like, I wonder if anybody pronounced it wrong in high school.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just...
Oh, man. Yeah.
It's spelled...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like... Boehner.
They had to do a massive like PR campaign in his neighborhood with signs. No, it's pronounced this way.
Yeah, but I think it's obviously good. There's so much research now showing that there's a lot of good to be done. Marijuana does a lot of good. It's for, you know, chronic back pain, as mentioned, like arthritis, or if like you have to go to your kid's violin recital. All of these are good reasons to legalize it.
Kat, what are you happy he's changed his mind?
Yes, although I think that just because he's changed his mind doesn't mean he's changed as a dude. I bet you he still calls it the pot. The pot. I agree with Tyrus though, but I think it's really sad that I bet you he actually kind of always supported legalization in some sense, but he felt like he couldn't come out in support of it while he was in a leadership position in the Republican Party. And I think that that's really sad because the Republican Party is supposed to be about freedom, and there's no reason to be criminalizing an individual, an adult, for what they want to put in their own body. So I think it's really sad that he had to wait to do this, but I think that he's absolutely right.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Maybe he was worried about his constituents who refer to it as the evil hippie jazz cigarettes.
The devil's grass.
It's, you know what? 10 years of watching Dragnet, you know, it'll poison your brain. I watched Dragnet. I thought everything was evil. Like, remember the episode where the guy was eating paint? You remember that?
No.
Maybe I made that up. But you know what the thing? Like if I was working on the Pot Council, this is what I would do. I would turn marijuana into something so mundane that it's as boring as alcohol. Like, you know, in the 1960s, they had the town drunk and it was funny in TV shows. They don't have that anymore because it was no longer funny. So you have to make pot as boring as alcohol, and then you have to treat it like a reward. Like, you don't have a martini in the morning. You have it after work.
You don't?
No. No. That's why you haven't made it yet, Jamie.
That changes everything.
No, but waking and baking, no, you can't be successful if you're high in the morning. But treat it like you work, you come home, and you have, you know, something. Although I can't do it. It makes me crazy. Makes me crazy.
It's not the weed.
Not the weed?
The weed. No. I'll tell you what. I'll give him a break if he smokes.
Okay.
If I see him toke up, I'll be like, all right, man, you're cool.
Actually,
I'm with you.
Me if
he'll be like,
crying and the smoke. Oh God, forget about it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So let's move on. When I don't know, we move on. All right, can robot warriors save the world? Will they help us or will they eat us? Or both?
Introducing the most advanced Infiniti ever made. The all-new 2019 Infiniti QX50. Infiniti. Empower the drive.
It's the Academy of Country Music Awards with performances by Kelsea Ballerini, Blake Shelton, Maren Morris, Lady Annabella, Carrie Underwood, Keith Urban, and many more. Reba McEntire hosts the ACM Awards. Go online for showtimes.
We're finally back out in our yard, but so are they.
Introducing Scott's Turf Builder Triple Action. It kills weeds, prevents crabgrass, and feeds so grass can thrive. Guaranteed.
Our backyard is back.
This is a Scott's yard.
Last year's ad campaign was a success for ChoiceHotels.com.
Bada book, bada boom.
This year, we're taking it up a notch.
So in this commercial, we see two travelers at a Comfort Inn with a glow around them. So people watching will be like, wow, maybe I'll glow too if I book direct at ChoiceHotels.com.
Who glows? Just say bada book, bada boom.
Nobody glows.
He gets it.
Always the lowest price, guaranteed. Book now at ChoiceHotels.com.
With our laser-measured floor liners and cargo liners, all new Bump Step XL, side window deflectors, and no-drill mud flaps, WeatherTech provides the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Go to WeatherTech.com to order yours today and see our full line of automotive accessories. Nothing protects like WeatherTech.
Watch the horns! Okay. What you don't see can hurt you. Today's connected world is full of threats you may not see if you just monitor your credit to help protect your identity. LifeLock sees more, like your personal information on the dark web. And now with the power of Norton, we detect threats like ransomware too, to help protect your identity and devices. Plus, if there's an identity theft problem, we'll work to fix it with our $1 Million Protection Package. Get new LifeLock with Norton, starting at $9.99 a month.
Hey, listen up. We're hens. And we help you stay looking like this, not like this. Most guys start losing their hair by 35, but thanks to science, baldness can be optional. And so are other man issues. We deliver products directly to you at home. It's easier to take care of yourself than fix it later. Try it out at 4hims.com.
Help control cravings and lose weight with Contrave. It's FDA approved to help adults who are overweight or struggle with obesity lose weight and keep it off. Contrave is believed to work on 2 areas of the brain, your hunger center.
I'm so hungry.
And your reward system.
Ice cream. French fries.
To help control cravings. One ingredient in Contrave may increase suicidal thoughts or actions in some children, teens, and young adults in the first few months. Serious side effects are mood changes like depression and mania, seizures, increased blood pressure or heart rate, liver damage, glaucoma, allergic reactions, and hypoglycemia. Not for patients with uncontrolled blood pressure, seizure history, anorexia, bulimia, drug or alcohol withdrawal, on bupropion, opioids, MAOIs, allergy to the ingredients, or pregnant. May cause nausea, constipation, headache, and vomiting. Reduce hunger, help control cravings with Contrave. Now you can talk to a doctor online and get free shipping at getcontravenow.com.
Do we need more heroes made of ones and zeros? That's the question of Paul Scherer at the Wall Street Journal, which is owned by our parent company, Orange Julius. The writer notes that a robot army is fast becoming reality as more than 16 countries already possess armed drones. And now there's plenty of unmanned weapons in development around the world, including Russia's Uran-9, which is a robot tank, the U.S. Sea Hunter, which is a surface ship designed for anti-sub warfare, the long-range anti-ship missile, once it goes airborne, it hunts on its own, recon drones, which once weaponized could be devastatingly effective, and, of course, these killer mini-bots, which are still in development in my basement.
Can you please put the microphone in my hand?
I want to work right now.
Ah, won't make it. Kat, are you for or against the development of a robot army?
I'm for it.
Great.
Yes, because in the future, we won't really have armies so much as just a country's robots fighting another country's robots.
Right.
And I think that's great because there will be less human carnage, and also wars will have rain delays. Right? They'll be like, what happened to World War III? And I'll be like, oh, it's on a rain delay because we can't get the robots wet. How dope is that?
That is it. So I never even thought about it. What about, you worried, Jamie, about robot warfare?
I'm very worried. What if the robots are out there from that one country fighting the other robots, and then they stop and they're like, wait a minute, we're all robots. Let's kill everybody else. Couldn't this really happen?
That's a great point.
I think that could really happen.
That's a great point.
I saw it in a movie.
It's like they're trying to pit us against each other when it's the meat people.
Yes,
It's the meat people. They're made of meat.
Wait, you're a metal person? I'm a metal person. Let's
They're
kill
made
the
of meat. All right. Jedediah, are you a meat person or a robot person?
I don't. You guys are laughing about this. This stuff.
No,
This scares me.
It doesn't scare me, but
so badly, because if you think about it, who's manning these machines, and what happens when somebody hacks one of them?
Yes.
And then nobody saw the Terminator. Nobody cares. I don't understand. I'm writing a book about this because I feel like technology is just ballooning, and everybody's just like, oh, this is great, and nobody's sitting and saying this is terrifying. Have you seen these robot dogs? These dogs that look like.
Have you watched this show? We have the robot dogs on every week.
I haven't watched it.
Jedediah, the key here is to befriend the robots now, so when they do the killing, they skip you.
Yeah, always say thank you to the elevator when you get on and off. Thank you, elevator.
I caress my toaster.
Oh my
Tyrus? Tyrus?
I believe that.
Hold on. So you don't know Greg's on the other side?
Yes, I'm on the other side.
He's an AI Uncle Tom.
I am.
He will sell us all out for them.
You don't understand.
He wants
I've been
to be
doing
the
this for
one
years.
human left.
So you're not scared at all by
He's making deals.
No.
What's gonna happen? Where's humanity gonna live?
He has
in that
outlets
space?
all over his house.
Tell me. I need to know.
Okay.
We need to duke this out.
I'm
going to
tell you,
Jedediah,
I'm going to tell you something, and it's going to. Why do we do these segments on robotics and automation? Because I know that Donald Trump watches Fox News as much, and if he watches it as much as he says he does, he's watching right now. And with tech warfare, the country that wins is the country who gets there first. So America has to get there first. We got the bombs first. That's why we were number one. We shouldn't have let other countries get the bombs. I'm talking about the big bombs. Same thing. We got to get tech warfare first, and then we don't let anyone else get it, and then we run Earth, and then we move to other planets.
But
Donald Trump's listening. Donald Trump's listening. This is the country that gets there first in AI wins. If China gets there before us, we are their barnyard animals.
So what happens if you're overrun with robots and you think everything's going great, and then Iran somehow hacks into the system and now the robots turn on humanity? I mean,
Cup of water. Yes. Weather-making machines that cause it to rain in Iran.
Oh.
No, you know what the thing is? It's I think what you show kind of a robotist view. It's kind of you're a robot bigot. You're like, you know what you are? You're okay with human error, right? But you freak out over machine error. But there's fewer machine error than there are human error. Humans make mistakes all the time. Robots, they are perfect, right, guys? Yeah, see? They're Tyrus. They're listening to me.
Yes, they are. You little android from Alien.
Yes, you know it. You know. Yeah. When this happens, you're going to be at my doorstep, and you're going to be banging on my door.
And he'll tell
I'm going to open the little slat, and they go, sorry, Jedediah. I remember Friday, April 13th, 2017, when you were making fun of robots, and you know what? You aren't coming in. And then I close it really tight. And then I open up, and then I look at you, and I laugh. And then I close it again.
You're really enjoying this, like, way too much.
I am.
Then I'm going to show up at your door, Greg, wearing my robot costume.
Yes!
Listen,
you've done that 3 times, by the way. These are robot strippers.
It'll finally make sense.
Yes.
I'm not playing Sarah.
There should be robot strippers. Still to come. There is a crisis in candy, and one sweet is on the chopping block. God, I hope it's not Mike and Ike. Oh, it's Necco.
This is a collaborative, improvisational conversation about politics and life.
Everybody at The Five comes with a background and an expertise.
No one says news has to be boring.
No scripts,
Nothing.
People love the show because we make them think.
And at 5 o'clock, you get the hard stuff and we dissect it up top. And then at the end of the show, we give you a little dessert.
We're telling you what we think. And we are speaking, it turns out, for a lot of people.
What pushes us further than our best?
Is it the competition?
Or a personal test?
Or perhaps it's a hybrid of both. Your best is always ahead.
Because better is a never-ending quest.
Introducing the all-new Accord Hybrid. Now, North American Car of the Year for 2018.
What do I want from my hotel? Well, that depends. On my business trip, I want to be online and then offline. Weekend getaway, I want to stay in the heart of the city and enjoy my espresso at breakfast. Summer vacation. Every trip is unique, and your hotel should be too. With Trivago, you can find your ideal hotel easily and for the best price. Hotel Trivago.
At just $24.99, Ruby Tuesday's new dinner for two is bringing everyone together. Endless trips to the garden bar. Wicked garden bar. Choose 2 of 7 entrees. I say Ruby, you say. Can I just eat? And a dessert to share. Halo! Dinner for 2 at Ruby Tuesday.
Who can help you undo the damage done by fire or water? Search no further than the experts at ServiceMaster Restore. We help people go from disaster to done. ServiceMaster Restore.
I can't believe this came off my floors. Gross.
My tile was still this dirty even after I mopped my floors.
Are you ready to see what you're missing every time you clean your floors? Introducing FlexClean by Rug Doctor. It's our first ever true all-in-one floor cleaner. Deep clean every floor in your home with one amazing machine that leaves no doubt. You can see the dirt coming out. All floors, no exceptions. FlexClean tackles carpets and rugs, wood and laminate floors, stone and tile. Only FlexClean lets you change surfaces seamlessly.
From carpet to hardwood to tile.
Accidents, stains, my everyday cleaning.
It gets every floor in my home totally clean.
We know you have to see it to believe it, so we put FlexClean to the test. Just watch how FlexClean's powerful suction cuts through dirt and grime. No more sloppy mops. FlexClean gets rid of sticky, gooey accidents and icky leaks with one clean sweep. Food and drinks on the carpet? No worries. FlexClean sucks up stains so you can relax and get back to entertaining. And Rug Doctor knows pets, so no matter how furry your family is, FlexClean is there to keep your floor cleaning routine fast and fresh. Here's how it works. The cleaning solution and rotating brushes dislodge dirt. Then powerful suction carries the dirty water into a separate tank, where it's safely contained until you dump it down the drain.
So disgusting, but really satisfying.
FlexClean pivots and handles like a vacuum, only it does so much more because it deep cleans every floor.
I love that I can go from my area rugs to hardwood floors in just 2 easy steps. I just change the nozzle, turn the knob. It's that easy. I'm ready to clean.
Now you can have FlexClean delivered straight to your door. Call or go online to get yours. Order now and we'll include this exclusive upholstery tool that makes cleaning hard to reach places a snap. That's not all. We'll also include a trial size of our famous all-in-one cleaning solution. Don't miss out on this awesome FlexClean deal. Call or go to flexclean.com right now.
It's no longer safe for our tasty, precious waif. I speak of the legendary Necco wafers, a candy, or so they say, that has been an American classic since before the Civil War. Some love them, others hate them. The New England Confectionery Company makes them and says they will have to shut down soon if a buyer doesn't come along to save their business. Since they made that announcement, sales have begun to surge. I wonder who could be buying up all that candy. John Boehner really has changed. It's like total, just wants the candy now that he's high. Jamie, do they have actual candy in Alaska?
They do. A lot of it's the nose candy you've heard of.
Long haul truck
very
drivers.
dark there. There's not a lot to do. You know what's weird about Necco? Did you know, I Googled this, did you know Necco wafers were made in 1847? Mm-hmm. Do you know it was invented in 1848?
What?
Flavor. They just missed it. The only reason to have Necco wafers is it's the perfect thing to hand out on Halloween if you want your house to be vandalized. They're disgusting. I'm happy to see them go.
This might be a generational thing, and since Tyrus, you're my age.
No, I'm not.
Would you ever run into Neccos in your Halloween heyday?
No, Greg. We didn't celebrate Halloween in my house. People with masks got shot at, so and arrested. So we really didn't. Wasn't a big thing in my neighborhood to put a mask on and go knock on the door. It didn't run well. It wasn't until I got to college and I was like, that's Halloween?
Oh my God. No wonder I killed 4 ghosts in October.
Actually, Greg, I had a plan to say, they make the Valentine's candies too. He's laughing because it's kind of raised. Whatever. But if they would just stop being so sweet with the Halloween, with the Valentine's Day stuff, because we live in a divided country. Have some rude Valentine's candy like, is this going to work?
Yeah.
I'm seeing other people. They need to have, you know what I'm saying? I faked it. Like, they need to have stuff to where the stuff,
that reflects the division in our country. Divisive candy.
Yeah, I have a tape.
I have a tape.
I have a tape.
I have a Russian tape.
Yep.
I don't know what the flavor of that wafer is.
But yeah.
Kat, how do you feel? Do you have feelings, strong feelings about this, that Necco could go away?
I think that they probably will go away, Greg.
Oh, my God.
And want to know why?
Why?
Because they're not good.
Oh, how dare you?
Why are people feeling nostalgic for things that aren't good? I get the history. I get that it's from the 1840s. But you know what else is from the 1840s, Greg? The Great Famine.
Yes.
I don't see anyone being nostalgic for that.
Well,
the Donner Party, no one's nostalgic for that.
That's why they started eating those during the famine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting. These became really popular after the Donner Party. What? Oh, I'm getting to my Soylent Green mode. Jedediah, I actually like this candy. I find it very flavorful.
You find it flavorful?
I find it flavorful.
I've never heard you say that about anything.
Enjoyable.
I feel sad, though.
I never said I wouldn't eat one.
Delicious?
No, I think they're
yes,
they're cute, and they're like, I don't know, I feel nostalgic for stuff that, when you think about, there's stuff that I liked when I was a kid, like candy corn, for example.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid. You hate candy corn?
Woof.
I love candy corn. But even if if somebody said that was going to go out of business, I would feel nostalgic for my childhood and for I don't know, the little hearts when you were in middle school and somebody gave you the little kiss me, you're all like,
you were getting those, huh? Well, that's good for you.
Yeah. You know what you're talking about? You're talking about the illusion of nostalgia. The fact that everything seems so awesome when you were a kid, but it actually sucked. I grew up in the 70s. Yeah. We had 3 TV channels. I had to ride my bike in El Camino Royale. There was litter everywhere. People don't remember this. You could litter in the 70s until the crying Native American commercials started. But you could litter everywhere. You would go. People would pull their pull tab caps off their cans. They drink. They throw their cans out the window. There'd be bags, McDonald's bags everywhere because people littered. Then you'd come home. You'd have a television that's this big, and you'd have to fiddle around with your dad's coat hanger, and then just so you could get a rerun at Gilligan's Island that you've already seen. Things were terrible in the 70s, but I love it.
I remember watching football, and it was the gray team versus the gray team.
Yes.
And you could not tell who was winning because there were no colors to differentiate.
But do you know what this is? It also reminds me, this is when I was a kid, kids like to play games, and atheists, they love to play doctor. But when you were a Catholic, you played communion.
Oh.
Listen, we'd always do that. I'm not kidding.
No, it's true.
I'm not kidding.
How are you nostalgic for that? All that's beautiful stuff you just talked about, and then you've got a robot fetish.
Yeah,
how does that exist?
Because the robots know what's next. Because I don't. Final thoughts coming your way.
Euro. Arby's, we have the meats.
There's little rest for a single dad, and back pain made it hard to sleep and get up on time. Then I found Aleve PM. The only one to combine a safe sleep aid plus the 12-hour pain-relieving strength of Aleve. I'm back. Aleve PM for a better AM.
This new Beneful Simple Goodness is amazing meaty morsels, a tender texture with real meat and a blend of peas and carrots I can see. A totally new kind of awesome going on here.
New Beneful Simple Goodness, tender meaty morsels with real ingredients you can see.
At Joseph A. Bank, save up to 60% off almost everything. All dress shirts, including best-selling Traveler, 2 for $89. All Traveler suits, $279. Plus, take an extra 40% off all clearance and find exactly what you're looking for. The up to 60% off sale, only at Joseph A. Bank.
There's an exotic place where you can swim in the sky, where all the pleasures of a 5-star luxury vacation are all included. Sandals Grenada. Experience the sandals of tomorrow today. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend a Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. Thankfully, there's HomeAdvisor. A HomeAdvisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. They have verified reviews of the pros, and they do background checks, so you know you can trust them with your home. You can compare prices, book appointments, and what my wife loves most is that HomeAdvisor is completely free to use.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app.
Wake up early, slap on some cologne.
I'm 85 and I wanna go home. Just got a job as a lifeguard in Savannah. I'm 85 and I wanna go home.
Dropping sick beats, they called me DJ Nana.
85 and I wanna go.
Don't get mad. Get easy, kiddo.
I'm Jacqueline.
Hi, I'm Heather.
My name is Julene. I'm on Match because I'm ready to find my partner.
Looking for a real relationship?
I'm looking for a serious relationship.
With someone who can grow with me.
Check out Match right now for free.
I am going to tell you about the most incredible place. And you know what? You're walking on it.
One Strange Rock, Mondays at 10 on National Geographic.
Termites. Feasting on homes 24/7.
We're on the move.
Roger.
Hey, Rick, all good?
Oh, yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Termites never stop trying to get in. We never stop working to keep them out. Terminix, defenders of home.
At Wayfair.com, we think that when the big stuff ships free, it's just better.
Cover better, brunch better, crunch better, rock better, roll better, whoa better, dream better, clean better. Yeah, better!
Oh, Wayfair has free shipping. Game changer.
Fast better, free better, everything's better when it's
free shipping on orders over $49. Shop better at Wayfair.com.
Wayfair, you've got just what I need.
All right, we're running out of time. Final thoughts, Jamie?
Well, I'd love it if you wanted to check me out on my Netflix show. It's in season 2 right now. It's called Real Rob with Rob Schneider. Good to see you, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you're... By the way, go there, check out the episode where his girlfriend gets mauled by a bear. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. Tyrus?
So sick.
I got a movie, SuperCon, coming out in 2 weeks, April 27th. I got a red carpet for that, and it's my first big comedy. It's with John Malkovich, Mike Epps.
I'm going. Yeah, I better be invited. I better be invited. Jedediah, Jamie, Kat, Tyrus, thank you. Studio audience. I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love you, America.
Welcome to Waters World. I'm Jesse Waters. President Trump making good on his promise to attack Syria following last week's deadly chemical attack. In cooperation with Britain and France, our military led a targeted missile attack against the Assad regime's chemical weapon storage facilities.
Right now, this is a one-time shot, and I believe that it sent a very strong message to dissuade him, to deter him from doing this again.
UN Ambassador Nikki Haley describing the strikes as a last-ditch effort after diplomatic efforts failed.
The United States and its allies did everything we could to use the tools of diplomacy to get rid of Assad's arsenal of chemical weapons. We did not give diplomacy just one chance. We gave diplomacy chance after chance. 6 times. That's how many times Russia vetoed Security Council resolutions to address chemical weapons in Syria.
Last week's devastating chemical attack killed dozens and injured hundreds more. The president calling the strikes vital to our national security.
This massacre was a significant escalation in a pattern of chemical weapons use by that very terrible regime. The evil and the despicable attack left mothers and fathers, infants and children thrashing in pain and gasping for air. These are not the actions of a man. They are crimes of a monster instead. The purpose of our actions tonight is to establish a strong deterrent against the production, spread, and use of chemical weapons. Establishing this deterrent is a vital national security interest of the United States.
Russia now responding, calling the U.S.-led strikes an act of aggression and warning of consequences after the strikes. Joining me now, former Deputy Assistant to the President and Fox News National Security Strategist, Dr. Sebastian Gorka. So, Dr. Gorka, we had a lot of Navy assets in the region, and it looked like we used over 100 Tomahawk missiles, double what we used last year, from cruisers, destroyers, Marines, even the B-1 bombers got involved. What was your assessment of the efficiency of the strike?
I think it was perfect. If you listen to the briefing given by Secretary Mattis and by Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, General Dunford, we allocated targets. Those targets were destroyed, and there was nary an effective response. And the Russians, that have been rattling their rusty saber for so long, did nothing. So I think this was a double whammy, Jesse. Not only did we deal a very significant blow to Assad's capacity to use chemical weapons again, in one night, in just a period of less than an hour, we did more for Russia's reputation than the last 15 months of sanctions.
You know, it's a great point, because the Russians had warned of attacks if we had gone in there with missiles, and nothing happened. They did the last time. They said the same thing. Again, nothing happened. And if you're a subsidiary of Russia, if you're Iran, if you're Syria, that can't make you feel too good when Big Brother, after talking all that game, doesn't help you out when things get messy. So let me ask you, Hezbollah, I was hearing things that some missiles might have struck some Hezbollah site in southern Syria. How do you think the Iranians and Hezbollah take this strike?
Well, this is the real tough question, Jesse, because we've got nations that support Assad that fall into different categories. You've got Russia that has issues in terms of it's no longer the Soviet Union. Vladimir Putin said the biggest catastrophe of the 20th century was the fall of the Soviet Union. Yeah. So they have kind of emotional issues, but they're rational actors at the end of the day. Iran, not so much. You've got a theocracy there run by mullahs. Some of them believe in the occultation of the hidden imam, and the apocalypse could be just around the corner. So I think the cooler heads in the Republican Guard, the IRGC, the cooler heads in Tehran are saying, this did not go well for us. Maybe we need to reassess our internal red lines on how far we sponsor Assad. But you never know with the mullahs, Jesse. These guys are as dangerous, or if not more dangerous, than groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS.
And they're extremely dangerous because President Obama handed them boatloads of cash. And because President Trump has kind of equivocated on whether or not he's going to renew the Iran nuke deal, that's caused their economy to almost crash. I mean, people in the streets are very upset right now. They're having to give out a lot of subsidies to the people because there's going to be some unrest. But let me get back to the strikes here, because we don't want to see this happen again. We want to have to keep doing this year after year after year. Dunford, who I thought was fantastic, said this about a setback for Syria.
Last year, we conducted a unilateral strike on a single site. This evening, we conducted strikes with 2 allies on multiple sites that will result in a long-term degradation of Syria's capability to research, develop, and employ chemical and biological weapons. Important infrastructure was destroyed, which will result in a setback for the Syrian regime.
So, Dr. Gorka, this was more than a deterrent strike, I believe. That, a deterrent strike is when you send a message, morally we're not going to accept this. You persuade the evildoer not to do it again. But this was a degradation strike. I mean, they were hitting research and development facilities, chemical and biological warfare technology, airfields for the delivery. This seems pretty significant. Was that your takeaway?
Absolutely, because if you look at the categories of the target, we hit every part of the puzzle. So we hit the research capacity, we hit the precursor chemical storage facility, we hit the weapons storage facility, and the manufacturing one. That's the whole circle of chemical weapons research, production, and storage. So it's a death blow to this capacity, and it would take a long time and some significant expenditure by Assad to build that capacity again. And I'm not too sure after what Donald Trump decided to do yesterday that he's going to be keen to do that, Jesse.
Yeah, and I think the North Koreans are looking at what happened yesterday with a different perspective. Dr. Gorka, as always, a pleasure. Thanks for being in Waters World.
Thanks, Jesse. Anytime.
All right, Democrats now condemning president's strong response to Assad's chemical attacks. Nancy Pelosi tweeting this: "The latest chemical weapons attack against the Syrian people was a brutally inhuman war crime. Yet, one night of airstrikes is no substitute for a coherent strategy." But they seem to be forgetting the last time the U.S. didn't take action. Here's President Obama in 2012.
We have communicated in no uncertain terms with every player in the region that that's a red line for us, and that there would be enormous consequences if we start seeing movement on the chemical weapons front or the use of chemical weapons. That would change my calculations significantly.
How'd that work out, Nancy? Joining me now, former senior advisor to the Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, Felipe Reines. So, Felipe, from a Democratic perspective, what is the critique of President Trump's Syrian military response?
Well, I think when there's something like this, where there's American lives in danger, you want to try to keep it out of politics. So let me start there. The problem here, Syria is a wicked problem, and I grant President Trump that he inherited much like North Korea. The problem is, and it includes in what he has said and what his White House says and what you just showed, is this constant comparison to Barack Obama or this constant running against Hillary Clinton. It is not 2016. Donald Trump has been president for 15 months. It is time to compare himself to him.
Okay, no, but listen, this is exactly what President Obama did. I mean, he bashed Bush for almost the whole entire 8 years he was in the White House. You can't say Donald Trump just made up all of a sudden criticizing your predecessor.
But
I mean,
you're
this is politics.
you're asking about Syria, and I think the president he should be comparing himself to is himself. We were sitting here a year ago, almost exactly, talking about the last strike on Syria, which, by the way, I think was warranted. And again, this strike, given what he's doing, is warranted. The problem is that if you're going to hold a president to their words, which I think you should absolutely do, it is not a coincidence that less than 2 weeks ago, he himself said, we're leaving. Now, this is a man who has said repeatedly, don't announce, don't telegraph.
Let me get in, though. Okay. He doesn't want a nation build, and he doesn't want to fall into the trap that George W. Bush did in Iraq and Afghanistan, and that Hillary and Obama criticized Bush for, of staying forever and just wasting trillions of dollars, blood and treasure. And he was very successful in the campaign running on, not going on to these big adventures abroad and rebuilding America, not rebuilding the Middle East. That doesn't mean he wants to get out. That just doesn't mean, it just means that he doesn't want to stay there for eternity.
Well, hold on. In fairness, he literally said, I want to leave.
Yeah, he does want to leave. I mean,
but
yeah.
then 2 weeks later,
we all want to leave Syria.
Okay, but then don't go back in. I think the problem is,
no, because it was a balanced strike. It was not a decapitation strike. He wasn't tipping the scales in the Civil War where all of a sudden the rebels were going to take over and it was going to be a hornet's nest. It was surgical and it was precise, and we still now have the status quo on the ground with the rebels, but they don't have the capability of launching chemical attacks as much.
Militarily, this was incredibly effective. The military does what the mission they're given. There is no question to that. But your previous guest was wrong. This was not a perfect strike. A perfect strike means that 1 year from now, you and I won't be talking about this strike and why it didn't end things.
How dare you insult Dr. Sebastian Gorka? He's never been wrong, Dr. Gorka. Unbelievable. I cannot believe you, Felipe. I mean, Dr. Gorka, infallible. Infallible.
Right up until the time he was fired.
No, listen. Yeah, I know what happened with you too, Felipe. I've seen your name in the news recently. Here's the deal. The President Obama, and I hate to go back to it, but this is a political segment. President Obama drew a red line and didn't enforce it, and then let Putin come in, try to save the day, and cut this deal so Obama could save face. And everybody was bragging about how they got all the chemical weapons out of Syria. I think we have some tape on that. Let's listen.
We were able to find a solution that actually removed the chemical weapons that were known from Syria in a way that the use of force would never have accomplished.
Russia has been constructive in helping to remove 100% of the declared chemical weapons from Syria. In fact, that was an agreement we made months ago, and it never faltered, even during these moments of conflict.
People may criticize us for not having launched missiles against Assad after chemical weapons had been used, but keep in mind why we didn't. We didn't because they got rid of the chemical weapons. And that, in fact, was very important.
Now, looking back on that, Felipe, what do you think about that?
I think the same thing I said a few minutes ago, that presidents should follow through on what they say. And if not, they're going to deal with the consequences. President Trump said something a couple of weeks ago that he's now dealing with the consequences. And again, this is a tough problem, but it's another campaign promise, like you said, that he's not following through on.
Listen, you're right. No, there are a lot of people on the right now.
There are a lot of people
on
this network.
Yes, very angry, exactly, that he's launching missiles into Syria after saying he wasn't going to get involved in the Middle East like other presidents have done. But like when he said this, and this really stuck out to me, when you see people thrashing in pain and gasping for air, those were war crimes, and you can't sit by and look at that video as the leader of the free world and not send a message by launching an attack to prevent this from never happening again. As a civilized world, it cannot happen. I think both parties agree on that.
Assad is a monster.
Right.
And I am glad what happened last night happened. I'm glad it happened a year ago.
I think we all are. We all,
but I don't want to be back here a year from now.
Neither do we. Neither do we.
But the other problem is
I got to run those, Felipe. I got to run. All right. Up next, a Syrian refugee shares what life is like under the Assad regime. The pictures coming out of Syria following last week's attack.
This is a collaborative, improvisational conversation about politics and life.
Everybody at The Five comes with a background and an expertise.
No one says news has to be boring.
No scripts, nothing.
People love the show because we make them think.
And at 5 o'clock, you get the hard stuff and we dissect it up top. And then at the end of the show, we give you a little dessert.
We're telling you what we think. And we are speaking, it turns out, for a lot of people.
At Joseph A. Bank, save up to 60% off almost everything. All dress shirts, including best-selling Traveler, 2 for $89. All Traveler suits, $279. Plus, take an extra 40% off all clearance and find exactly what you're looking for. The up to 60% off sale, only at Joseph A. Bank.
Mom, Dad, hi. I had a very minor fender bender tonight in an unreasonably narrow fast food drive-thru lane. But what a powerful life lesson. And don't worry, I have everything handled. I already spoke to our Allstate agent, and I know that we have accident forgiveness, which is so smart on your guys' part. Like the fact that they'll just forgive you.
4 weeks without the car.
Okay, yep, good night.
With accident forgiveness, your rates won't go up just because of an accident. Switching to Allstate is worth it.
I saw a flash of you in the future, writing me a message.
What did it say?
Be careful with the monk. He is very contagious.
We're here to rescue you.
Can you get me out of here? The shadow.
And when you do, she will cease to exist.
Legion, all new Tuesday at 10 on FX and FX Now.
The Earth is constantly crackling with energy. Everything that is alive or ever lived in our world, we all come from the same place. It's the moment nothing turned to something. If life began on Earth, could it be created elsewhere?
One Strange Rock, new episode, Monday at 10 on National Geographic.
Hi, I'm Johnny Bench. After a Hall of Fame career, it's no wonder why I use Blue Emu Arthritis Cream. Blue Emu's non-greasy, deep-penetrating formula gets down deep into those joints for big-time pain relief. Blue Emu, it works fast and you won't stink.
Got stains? Food stains? Grass stains? Try OxyClean Max Force with 5 powerful stain fighters. The easy-to-use spray tackles over 30 tough stains. Completely gone. OxyClean Max Force gets the tough stains out.
Happy anniversary dinner, darling. Can this much love be cleaned by a little bit of Dawn Ultra? Oh, yeah. One bottle has the grease cleaning power of 3 bottles of this other liquid. A drop of Dawn and grease is gone.
The best part about being a bath fitter installer is the reveal. Homeowners greet us in the morning and love that we're going to install a beautiful new tub right over their old one without tearing the bathroom apart. But they're never quite prepared for what they get come the end of the day. We call it the wow moment. When they see their new bathtub that's high quality and more beautiful than they could have imagined, I can't help but smile. Since it's Bath Fitter, it's built to last a lifetime. We guarantee it.
You too can have a bathroom you'll love. Call now or visit bathfitter.com.
I don't believe the future has to wait for the future. I destroy brain tumors with nanoparticles. I see breast cancer others can't. I create a biotech revolution with smart cancer drugs. I speed life-saving discoveries to life. I am the miracle of science with soul, and I live in City of Hope.
The pictures coming out of Syria following last week's attack are terrible to look at. But imagine living there, enduring Assad's brutal regime. Aziz Al-Hamza is a Syrian refugee who fled his country in 2014, eventually making his way to the United States, and he joins me now. So, Aziz, I have this article that you wrote about these strikes, a Syrian's activist message for Trump. What is your message for Donald Trump as a Syrian refugee?
Yeah, good evening. So, like, my main message, as like many Syrians, is to hit Assad and hit him hard.
Hit Assad and hit him hard.
Yeah, so Assad has been like a big problem in Syria, and he's like the main criminal in Syria, and the majority of Syrians have been killed by Assad, and the international community have been watching for years, and eventually an reaction or response to Assad has come eventually.
Okay, so you lived under the Assad regime and you escaped. How did that happen? That's pretty lucky.
So I lived under Assad regime and I got arrested by the Assad regime 3 times. I was tortured and I was lucky enough to be released.
When they tortured you, what did they do to you?
So many ways of torturing. So using electricity always. I don't want to like go in details because it's like a brutal ways to torture anyone.
Electricity was used on you.
Yes. So it's unlike asking why it was like why you were in the demonstrations, why you were in the protests. So we were not allowed to be part of the protests, and we've been living under Assad regime and Bashar and his father for 50 years, for like half a century, and we couldn't say like any word that would go any word against the government.
Yeah, you're not allowed to have freedom of speech, and if you end up on the streets protesting anything, they're obviously going to torture you. So you escaped through Europe, I believe, and then to the United States. President Obama was president when this entire civil war, the Arab Spring and the Civil War, unraveled. How did you feel about his leadership?
So, like, for me as a Syrian and many Syrians, like, we lost the trust of the United States.
You lost the trust of America.
Yes, under Obama administration, because all what we got from the U.S. administration, the previous administration, is only speeches and promises.
You got speeches and promises. Yeah, I mean, like, people feel like that around here.
Yeah, and like then like the red lines were like a joke, and then here was like the point when we were like hopeless, because the entire world, like not only the United States, Europe, and then the rest of the world, were watching Syrian people being killed in civil ways. Not only the chemical attacks, like with barrel bombs, like rockets and everything, and no one did anything.
It was awful, and it looks like ISIS has been rolled back in Syria. Is that your understanding?
Yes, so that's true, but like that happened with like destruction and damage and like thousands of people being killed by the international coalition itself, led by the United States.
Yeah, but it's because ISIS hides among the civilian population. Listen, Aziz, I want to congratulate you for your bravery, for escaping that brutal regime, and having the honesty to speak out about what you see through your own eyes as a Syrian refugee and how you see America. So thanks for coming on Water's World, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
The Comey Agenda exposed when we come back.
Like most people, Mrs. McCabe has several different types of flooring.
I have carpet, tile, and hardwood. I've tried running those machines, but they just don't get them as clean as you do.
Vacuuming and mopping is great for day-to-day cleanings, but nothing gets your home clean and healthy like a professional carpet, tile, or hardwood cleaning from Stanley Steamer.
That's why I call.
Call online for our 99.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
Okay, to pick a used car.
I really don't want to get ripped off.
Carfax can help. Search millions of used cars and find a great deal at Carfax.com.
Yeah, show me the Carfax.
Only Carfax gives you the most accurate price based on a car's history.
Wow, look at all the great deals.
Oh, you're welcome.
Show me the Carfax.
Start your used car search and get free Carfax reports at the all-new Carfax.com.
Dear great-grandfather, you were persecuted and forced to flee the country of your birth, but you started a new life in a brand new world. When I built my ancestry family tree, I found your story. Then, my DNA test helped me reclaim the Portuguese citizenship you lost. I'm Joshua Berry, and this is my ancestry story.
Combine the most detailed DNA test with historical records for a deeper family story. Get started for free at Ancestry.com.
Progressive is America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
Yeah, she does her. Best bike I ever owned.
No, you're never alone because our claims reps are available 24/7. We even cover accessories and custom parts.
We did get an early start. Took the kids to soccer practice.
You want me to jump that cactus? All right.
That lady's awesome. I don't see a possum.
Are you hiring great people?
I get more talented people through the door through Indeed than any other job search that I use.
Indeed delivers 6 times more hires than any other job site. Post a job in minutes, and Indeed will help you zero in on just the right candidates. Plus, there are no upfront costs or long-term contracts.
Nothing has ever been this easy, this simple, and this effective.
Right now, start your first job posting with free premium placement. Search for greatness. Indeed, the world's #1 job site.
Sandals. At last, an all-inclusive that truly includes it all. Sandals, the world's only 5-star luxury included resorts. Save up to 65%. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
Helping out with my granddaughter means the world to me. So I bought myself a smartphone.
Amanda, I'm out front, honey.
It's the all-new Jitterbug Smart from Great Call. It's got one of the biggest, brightest screens. And with the built-in 5-star app, I can always get help.
One touch and you'll be immediately connected to a highly trained agent who can confirm your location, assess the situation, and get you the help you need.
Service starts as low as $17.48 a month. Available at Best Buy, Rite Aid, or Sears.
Fox News Channel on Sirius XM. Your favorite shows on Channel 114. Plus, every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7 at Channel 115.
Live from America's News headquarters, I'm Robert Gray. Minneapolis seems to be getting the worst of a deadly spring storm hitting the nation's midsection. The Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport canceled all flights because of heavy snow. And the Twins' home opener against the Chicago White Sox was snowed out on Saturday. Sunday's game has also been called off. Residents are being told to stay off the roads, and several highways have been closed. Forecasters say southern Minnesota could get more than a foot of snow by Sunday. And Hollywood is mourning the death of legendary movie director Milos Forman. He won Oscars for directing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Amadeus. Some of his other well-known films include Ragtime, Hair, and The People vs. Larry Flint. Forman died early Saturday morning in Connecticut. He was 86. I'm Robert Gray. Now back to Waters World.
All the anticipation leading to the tell-all book from former FBI Director James Comey fizzling before it even hits the shelves. Instead of giving the media the proof they were hoping for to show the president obstructed justice, it's just full of scathing personal attacks against the man who fired him. Like this one, comparing President Trump to a mob boss. Quote, "This president is unethical and untethered to truth and institutional values. His leadership is transactional